I'll do the intros really quick here. You know what, last time I did the radio voice, let's try the snobby voice this time, alright? Spawning here in the top right corner of the map, he's the same color as money, ladies and gentlemen, Lillekanin. And his opponent in the top right, top left rather, the side of the government I don't personally agree with, the red terran Revenge. Red, of course, looks similar to that of the ruby I gave my wife last. No, I can't do voices for more than like 10 seconds. That's it. That's my limit. Now, sneaking this SCV across the map like this is so freaking cute. What I think is going to happen here is not necessarily an 11-11, but I think he's going to do proxy marauders within the base. And in the worst case scenario, maybe a proxy factory. I don't know what he plans to do, but you guys have to know, Lillekanin has some of the most quote-unquote special tactics, aka cheese builds, when it comes to StarCraft 2. And it's worth noting, he's one of the few people who've been able to take Joxy down in the past, and he did it with a proxy freaking battle cruiser. So again, weird tactics, strange strategies, whatever the case may be. I also want to bring up the fact that it is currently only Alien Invasion members remaining in today's tournament. Golden in the grand finals, these two here right now, Revenge, Lillekanin, and Golden. Alien Invasion has absolutely dominated today's Go for StarCraft Monday Premium Cup. Now, Revenge is going to come across the map, and this SCV scout is meant to see if it's going to be a Reaper or Marine, but what he's going to see is absolutely nothing. And that awkward moment where you have to wonder, like, what is going on? Where is your shit? And Lillekanin's gonna be like, surprise, but the last place you're gonna check is in base. This is something Protoss do. This is something anyone other than a Terran player does. In-base proxies, unheard of. For Revenge, I guarantee you, the first place he'll look at the golds, and then the second places will be down here towards the third. He's not going to be looking within his own base. A bunker is even coming down to solidify this Marauder. It has to be kind of a leapfrog forward, because what happens here is Reapers shut this down. Now, this is really awkward. A supply depot was coming down out of Revenge. This wasn't like a God mode Gosu map hack scout. It was meant to just see if a dropship was coming a little bit later. Lillekanin is trying to micro the SCV behind the bunker here. Unfortunately, it will go down and, ooh, also beat.
First blood.
But as the Marauder comes out, concussive shells come with it. The reason this build stopped working is twofold. One, you would have a wall off at the front, and a Marauders that would take forever to bust through. It would give you the time to get the more important shutdown to this, the Banshees out to deal with it. But unfortunately, you have to wait till you've got 2+ Marauders. Now, the key thing is the way he built this. A big way to shut down proxy Marauders is to pull SCVs onto it. SCVs act kind of like ghetto Zerglings, and they do a lot of DPS versus units that have a really low rate of fire. So as we see, this first Marauder may even go down to the SCVs. But he killed both the Marines, and this will actually unsupply block him, strangely enough, so that ends up helping more than hurting in the end. But that bunker never going up is a bit of a pain. Another SCV was brought to the front lines specifically to finish this. The idea is you can hide the Marauders in here while the SCVs are coming forward, and you leapfrog bunkers forward, so you use the first bunker to cover the second bunker, and so forth. Unfortunately, this SCV will also go down. Concussive Shells is done, so he should be able to secure another kill here, but Revenge is faced with a very... Oh, Lillekanin has to cancel that bunker, that sucks. Revenge is faced with a very odd scenario here. What he has with Marines can't technically deal with this, and as he keeps pulling more SCVs, he keeps sacrificing a lot of economy. But the Marauders are beefy enough, they've got the HP, they take out the Marines, but the SCVs are on top of this Marauder, and this is probably the best way to shut this down. The Hellions not even that big of a threat. Workers killed at this point almost makes this worthwhile, because back at home, Lillekanin is getting a factory up. His SCV count is actually superior to that of his opponents, and he's not at all out of this game. This Marauder... Proxy, it's one that can either win the game straight up, or it's meant to do enough damage that you pull ahead, and he's certainly done enough damage to pull ahead, so not at all a waste. And let's not forget, even though he hasn't killed these additional 3 SCVs yet, he's still got them off the mineral line. He's still walking around the map, he's still chasing after him. Can he get this last kill? No, not quite able to get that last one. This is a bit of a pain, a bit of a nuisance to say the least. I'm surprised he's letting this last Marauder finish. The idea, I think, is to swan dive to the mineral line and get maybe 1 or 2 more kills. He knows these SCVs were low, but yeah, there's no way he fights this army head on. There's so many low SCVs here too. Oh, he's trying to pull him back. He's trying to save him. Lillekanin, guys, just while this is going on, has killed 10 workers through the course of this, and the only 2 he lost were the ones he had put in his base. So now Revenge is kind of worried about, all right, what can I do? What's behind this? What's the follow-up? How do I return the favor? All these things. And right now, there's not a lot he can do. He's got some Hellions out. If there wasn't a wall off at the ramp, he'd be able to run by, maybe do a little bit more.
But continuing to invest in the Marauders for a couple more SCV kills, this is when it starts being really not worthwhile for Lillekanin. If he can get a medevac... okay, this is so crazy. If he could like get a medevac across the map, he can't, but if he could, this would actually be completely worth investing into still. But a Widowmine comes down, and a Banshee is what's coming up as the follow. There's not a command center on the way, and Lillekanin is classically not a player who plays a lot of like macro long games, especially TVT. Again, his specialty kind of lies within the cheese, his specialty lies within the special tactics, however you want to phrase it. But with good control, he gets a very, very stark lead in this game. Now with the Viking coming out first and this being revealed, the Banshee, it's got no cloak attached to it. It's just simply a Banshee, but oh my god. Oh my god. He's investing in another starport off of one base. 2 starports? 2 port, 1 base is kind of an old school thing to do. No, don't kill the tech lab! Use the tech lab! Ah, revenge! For those who don't know, you can just land on an opponent's tech lab and it becomes yours. You can use it all you want. Oh man, that's not... he could have just stolen the tech lab. But whatever, not a big deal. Cleans up everything Lillekanin had on his half of the map and now can consider trying to recover. The problem is, and this is where it gets really awkward for Lillekanin, he didn't exactly go for a command center behind this. He didn't look to extend his lead. He was just trying to win the game outright. And that's the whole point of this follow-up. Now, with the Banshees coming out, hang on, he's got the first one over here, right? No cloak. He already knows there's a Viking available. He knows his opponent's probably also investing in a Raven. His cloak is not finished, so to go in early would be crazy. But to go in late also means that it gets detected, no problem anyway. So I think for now what he's trying to do is to absolutely neuter the SCV count. If he keeps this alive... Ew, why did he dive back in? What was that? That had to have been a miscontrol, a misclick out of Lillekanin. Because I think the idea was to chase everything down here so they were all after this one Banshee towards the south, and the second Banshee, which was rallied across the map, then sweeps in and kills the rest of the SCVs. But again, for Lillekanin, there's no SCVs being produced. He's not looking to continue this game as far as macro goes. He's trying to find a way to end this right here. And I say this as a command center comes down, actually, so I regret saying that. I take that back. Looks like he will try and actually move on past this. But his opponent, who's, granted, lost a ton of SCVs, has started to catch up. I mean, 22 to 29, and a lot of this is because Lillekanin wasn't producing SCVs while this was happening. He was really focused on getting that Banshee out, trying to control his units on Revenge's side of the map. Nope, the spider mine, or not, yeah, I've been casting too much Starbow. I cast Starbow all the time, and I call them Widow Mines. I cast Starcraft 2 all the time, and I call them Spider Mines. I can't win. But this will deny base, although granted, again, the Raven was already revealed, so you can only do so much with it. The damage, the snap damage a Widow Mine can deal is really nice as well. I think Lillekanin, if he wanted to, he could send a Hellion up here to see if there's anything, and if there's nothing, then start chipping away the depots. Maybe get a bit of damage done, try and outpoke his opponent. But Revenge isn't going for mech, guys, so this air composition Lillekanin's saving up for, it's meant to kind of be like this burst surprise move, but I don't know how much of a surprise it's really going to be. The Raven can throw in a point defense drone. It will probably eat, I want to say, 3 volleys from the Vikings if the count stays too low, but he's producing 2 at a time. And my imagination tells me at this point, because again, I've never seen anyone try and recover off of this. I don't know what the follow-up is. This is, again, Lillekanin's special tactics. What I think is going to happen is he'll clear out the air and then land the Vikings. And quite frankly, Vikings landed, a lot of people really underestimate that DPS. But A, you can maneuver to be right on top of the tanks, so you're in their dead zone, and B, they'll destroy Marines. They'll take out Hellions. Hellions don't give no guff. And let's not forget there's all these Hellions out here waiting to swoop in as well. So this could be a bit odd. I didn't know it took 3 siege tank hits to kill a Widow Miner. It got a lot more HP than I thought. But the siege tank also revealed. And what's happening here for Lillekanin, guys, again, it's really critical he surprises his opponent with this. You'll notice Revenge is not investing in any Vikings right now. He's building medevacs. He's building tanks. He's not ready for what Lillekanin's making, and a big part of this because he hasn't showed it. And that's why he's also patrolling it over here as well. In combination to try and catch medevacs, but more importantly to make sure that Revenge can't scan this army when he scans the base. So Cloaked Banshees, this Raven will go down real fast. If his opponent mules, like I think he's assuming he will, he's going to regret that because he won't have scans. Is Lillekanin Danish? I believe he's Danish. I know he's from that part of Europe. Pretend I didn't even try to help, because that wasn't helpful. But alright, he makes the move to go on. This is a lot of Vikings, guys. 9 Vikings versus 2 is the bottom line here. And these Hellions are able to swoop in for the kill. If they pick off the Marines, there's no ground-to-air forces. The Banshees come in cloaked, focusing down on top of this. Auto turrets go down instead of a point defense drone. An equally good choice, mind you, but the Hellions are taken care of very quickly. However, there's no real good way to deal with these Banshees. There's a couple of Marines out, but the Banshee DPS is great. They're cloaked as well, so some free hits go off, and the Vikings will keep those medevacs back. But he can also walk away. If he can pick off those concussive shells, that would be really cool, but I think he might assume he's getting Stimpack, when really Stimpack's already finished. So Sims 4 here to pick off a couple of the Vikings. Banshees definitely need to be in a separate control group, that's for certain. But 3 Banshees is nothing to scoff at. If you hadn't lost all these Hellions, this Blue Flame would be game-endingly scary, but it's not, because it isn't. And there's 3 ports coming out of Lillekanin. Really investing here in the Sky Terran. This is like a late-game composition. You'll see Sky Terran a lot of the time. It's battle cruisers, it's Ravens. It's the late game, though. It's not this early-game shenanigans we're watching right here on Lillekanin. And I kind of fear this is one of those, like, he's trying to eat his dessert before his dinner type things, because he's going straight for the end game. Meanwhile, across the map, Marauders and Hellbats, or sorry, a Hellion rather, is unloaded. These will get to that mineral line, and the Hellions, well, I mean, this will eventually get cleaned up, granted, when the Banshees come back home, but there's some Hellions here as well, so damage here is somewhat limited. Blue Flame is revealed, but the armor is cancelled, which is a bit annoying. Now, we got some people asking in chat, like, you know, this air switch doesn't really work against Marines, right? And you would be combination right and wrong. The low amount of Marines Revenge had actually weren't the threat there. It was these 3 auto turrets buying a lot of time, soaking a lot more hits than a Marine can, and dealing a ton of damage at the same time. So, I think Revenge just made a lot of really good moves to defend against this, but still, he may be thinking, alright, my opponent's finally going to macro out, but no, he saw the 3 starports. He knows there's something else weird coming behind this, and Lillekanin's making Hellbats as well. Everything in this composition is kind of meant to kill Marines, and if the Marines are gone, there's no anti-air, and then the Banshees will reign supreme. So that's why it's really important to keep these alive. Up to 6 Banshees. You can never underestimate Banshee DPS. 8 Banshees in total. Oh my gosh. Banshees have some of the single highest DPS in the game. I don't know actually if they are the best by any means, but they attack so quick, they attack so hard, and they hit twice. It's ridiculous trying to deal with them. And with this many, you can actually tear down turrets. A lot of the times, it's a bit awkward with the Banshees because they don't have the health to sustain turrets, and the attack speed isn't faster than that of a turret. So, with 8 in total, 6 right now with the army, he can certainly deal a lot of damage. There's not even debating that. The question is whether it'll be enough and whether he'll be in the right spot for it. Well, takes down a depot like it's nobody's business. Again, the DPS of a Banshee is nothing to be underestimated, but their movement speed is also kind of one of the weaknesses too. As the Marines get here, it gets a little bit scary. Scan could go down, but these Marines, if he hit and runs, he can absolutely rain hellfire down upon these, but there might just be a few too many. Staved off, hit and run, hit and run. He sees the new turrets trying to come down. One gets actually straight up killed, not even canceled. The other one goes down as well, trying to replace that tech lab. Meanwhile, a 3rd base gets taken by Lillekanin, under fire from 1 Marine while this is happening. The Banshees are just going to town. Marines are funneling in, but again, it's the low attack speed. It's like watching roaches versus Marines. The idea is the Banshees can kill them. Yeah, they hit way too freaking hard, but the Marines are too numerous and too fast. As new missile turrets come down, these Banshees also run out of energy. I'm not sure if Lillekanin will want to press the issue or go home to repair, but you know, picking up that tech lab, a lot of the priority here is getting rid of tanks, making sure that there's nothing to stop the Hellbats from storming in. Because Hellions combined with Hellbats, with Blue Flame, nothing on the ground is going to stand against that, not even Marauders. But he's got to take the tanks out first, and that's the biggest, most difficult part of this. So we do see him focus fire down, combination tank, kind of shelling away the medevac at the same time. And he's still producing Banshees, he's still producing Vikings, and this is a style of play that you look at, and it's fun. Like, let's be honest, as an observer, even if you're not a Terran player, if you don't know the intricacies of this matchup, this is kind of fun because it's different, it's weird, but it's also something that can work. Battle cruisers coming down now. What the This is not a bad choice to get those battle cruisers out by any means, but I feel it's too early because again, there's a lot of Marines these have to chew through. But coming here forward, the Banshees, combined with the Hellbats, combined with the Hellions, going to try and go on top of the army, but the Marines stepping back. He knows that these are the most important part of this. Cancels the SCV building the turret. The Marines taking out these Banshees, but the Banshees are too numerous, and the Marines have fallen. Actually, I meant to go to the unit counting station. Sorry about that, guys. He's got no anti-air, period. With 6 Vikings, he can't make a damn thing. What he needs is a Thor more than anything else, but the Thor won't cut it once the battle cruiser comes out. This is looking pretty scary for Revenge. This is not a strategy you would expect to work off of the back of a Proxy Marauder 3 Starport Banshee, but it looks like it's going to happen. There's no anti-air. The few Marines that are here go down so quickly. 4 Marines at a time, even missile turrets. Vikings have landed. This air army, the Armada out of Lillekanin, is looking to be just a little bit too strong. Vikings are taking out the turrets, so the Banshees have free range to move around. But let's not forget, this is a counterattack while this is happening. However, the Marauders at best can kill SCVs. He can lift the command center. And if he does, there's battle cruisers to clean up what's left. This is so stupid. This is not a TVT we're used to seeing, but the cheese works. It proves to be strong in Lillekanin. He finally loses a couple more Banshees, but he's certainly not going to lose this game. Revenge with 3 command centers. I commend him for trying to stay in this, but this Hellbat is killing a lot of workers while this is happening as well. 62 SCVs have died over the course of this game, and GG finally called. Lillekanin will take game number 1 in the semifinals. This really sick best of 3.